After your baby was born in the hospital, you had around-the-clock help. Nurses brought you the baby for feeding and bonding time and then took the baby back to the nursery, which allowed you to get some much-needed rest. Your partner and visitors were eager to hold, change, and feed the baby, and you watched in amazement knowing that soon you'll be home starting your life as a family. As the time to leave approached, you were full of excitement and anticipation. You started worrying about how you'd take care of this little person who was now completely your responsibility. Would you know what to do? How would you know the difference in her cries and what she needed? This is how just about every new parent feels. Unlike a new appliance, your baby didn't come with an owner's manual, and everyone you know is happy to give advice. Suddenly you feel totally overwhelmed. Adjusting to my new reality as a parent really hit me during our ride home. As I sat in the back of the car watching my daughter sleep in her car seat, I began to feel nervous. I wondered, how was I going to do as a new mom? I wasn't sure what to do. Would I be able to meet my baby's needs? I knew the basics of how to take care of a baby, and I was thrilled to have finally reached this dream goal that took 6 years to happen. As much as I thought I was prepared, in many ways I wasn't. Sure, I had diapers and bottles and formula, clothes, a crib, etc. What I didn't have was confidence. I was full of self-doubt, overwhelmed, and scared. Apparently what I was feeling was common, which I learned when I finally shared my thoughts and fears with another new mom who lived a couple of houses away. We became a strong support system for each other that first year of parenting. I had 6 weeks of leave before returning to work. During that time, I worried about being all I could be for everyone, a good mom, a housewife, and an employee. How would I juggle parenting along with my other responsibilities? This too is a very common reaction for new parents who feel like there's never enough time. Looking back, I spent too much time worrying and not enough time planning. Adjustment takes planning, and planning needs adequate rest. I was totally unprepared for the toll that sleep deprivation took. For most of my life, I could always function on very little sleep, but this was different. Only getting an hour or two here or there was just not cutting it, and I was beyond exhausted. I made the typical mistake of trying to get everything done around the house while the baby slept. That never worked well. As soon as I got involved in cleaning or laundry, something would interfere which just caused more stress because I ended up with the remainders of incomplete tasks all around me. As returning to work approached, it was even more daunting as I anticipated having to get everything done and to actually get someplace on time. Most stages of parenting feels like it'll last forever and you'll never have a normal life again. Believe me, you will. But be aware that just as you get acclimated to what you're currently experiencing, everything will change and normal will constantly evolve. As a survivor of successfully raising 4 humans to adulthood, I can attest that normal is a word that has different meanings through all stages of parenting. You'll find yourself constantly adjusting to just about everything you did before you became a parent, such as getting sleep, doing laundry, cleaning, making meals, watching TV, taking a shower, talking on the phone, and even having a sex life. Even going out to eat with a baby now is an entirely different mission. Parents are often preoccupied as they problem solve, taking into account all the logistics that never come to mind before you became a parent. A story comes to mind of my first time trying to get to a local small grocery store to pick up some much-needed items with a baby by myself. As I was about to leave home, I struggled over whether to get the baby ready and put her into the car and then go back into the house to get her diaper bag and my pocketbook while leaving her alone, or leave her in her crib and go load up the car with all the things I was taking and then come back for her. I must have stood still trying to figure out which way to work this out for at least 5 minutes before I decided I'd leave her in the crib and then come back for her. A formerly simple task was now the makings of a reconnaissance mission. Once I got to the store, I realized they didn't have any shopping carts, which I immediately knew was going to be a problem. Once again, I was faced with a conundrum of how to navigate what used to be a simple task. Obviously, I couldn't leave the baby in the car while I went into the store, so I carried her in and quickly realized I had limits on what I could buy with having the use of only one arm. I picked up a bottle of juice, brought it to the counter, went back for milk, brought it to the counter, etc. As I was being checked out, I also realized I couldn't carry the baby and the grocery bags to the car and was not comfortable putting the baby in the car and leaving her even for a moment to go back in to get the groceries. For a few moments, I felt totally overwhelmed and incapable of making a decision. I had to get myself together, and at that moment I realized the only way was to ask the checkout person to bring the bags to my car for me. Being an extremely independent person, this felt like a failure. I was frustrated with myself and a little embarrassed that I was unable to manage something that was always simple. Nothing in my life was ever going to be simple again now that I had a child. I came to understand that I needed help, and realizing that was a strength, not a weakness. This was one of many adjustments I was going to be making for the rest of my life as a parent. Good parenting starts with understanding what you as the parent needs in order to successfully navigate the needs of your child. You have to listen to yourself, get rest when you need it, eat well and regularly, and take some time for yourself. Remember, it's not selfish to use self-care and ask for help when you need help. You are most likely familiar with the expression, "it takes a village." Well, maybe you don't need a village, but you might just need to have one person be your village, and that could be your partner, close friend, family, or neighbor. Parenthood is an ever-changing, evolving role that is joyful, exhausting, stressful, exciting, difficult, fulfilling, and sometimes disappointing. Embrace every moment, even the difficult ones, as it all goes by so quickly. Sit back and enjoy the journey. It's going to be amazing.